dogs outside. So I guess this is another catch-up video because I have again been slack at making the level of content that I want. Let me backtrack. I won't call it slack because I've been increasingly anxious about posting it, and the more pressure I put on myself to regularly post content, the more anxiety inducing it gets for me, and I'm finding it a lot harder than I thought, to be honest. This has been going on for like years now. If you scroll through on the channel, you'll see there's some points where I'm regularly making content and some points where it's just absent. But I figured today's another way to sort of break into that with literally just sort of catch up and to tell you guys what I've been up to, what gigs I've been playing, what music I've been writing, and etc. Because I don't talk in the music streams as much as I used to, and even at gigs I don't think I actually tell the crowd the stories of the songs as much as I used to during my gigs. So I'd like to do something like that. So I guess I'll start with gigs that I've played recently. I've played 2 big gigs on the beach near my house recently, and both times there was lots and lots of children in the crowd, and just, I don't know, getting to play songs that I've written in front of young kids that then see me and want to learn how to play guitar and write music too is just beyond inspirational. I don't know, like having a little girl come up to you being like, whoa, I want to do that. It's ace. There's nothing better than that. There's just kids coming up constantly with like stars in their eyes, and like I cover songs from like Steven Universe and Frozen, and there's a wide mix of songs that I'll include in my gigs, especially if there are children there, because they're the biggest hype crowd you could ask for. They dance genuinely, they laugh genuinely, they experience everything genuinely. Speaking of that, at the foreshore market I was playing, and this little kid came up and like stood directly in front of me and my microphone and just blocked his ears and started stomping and glaring at me. And like, I'm usually pretty good with funny things while I'm singing and I don't break and you can't really tell, but this one I just laughed. I stopped the song and laughed. I couldn't help it. It was so funny. He was so cute and so mad. I mean, I digressed from talking about kids loving me onto the one that really despised me, but either way, they are just hype. Like, kids in crowds watching my shows are a vibe. Baby, I am coming for the ride. I got very sidetracked. What was I talking about? I don't know, but on that day, the people from Mad TV Australia came down to film an original, and my dumbass accidentally played 2 covers while they were there. So we then had to reschedule and organise filming in the park, which ended up being very, very cute. So I'm excited for that to all be edited and come out. But that show's Mad TV Australia, and it'll be on Channel 31. So props to them for a really fun park day with so many bugs. I don't think any of us expected to be crawled on as much as happened, but that's showbiz, baby. That's showbiz. And I also had a psychologist appointment between deciding to make this video, jotting down a few of the things I'd talk about, and filming it now. So my head's a little bit spinning because, fair enough, therapy's my brain. So you'll have to bear with me on that part. Shout out to all my anxious homies if you're absolutely exhausted after any form of appointment or interaction socially. I don't know. Gigs are different because Sunny seems to take over, but when I'm at home, man, it's hard. I'm scared all the time. I wish I could get the gig me to come out for these videos because, I mean, if you've seen me perform before, you've probably seen it's almost a completely different person. I'm extremely confident and, I mean, still dying on the inside mostly, but I can handle it a lot better when I've got the protection of my voice and my guitar. And I think the mic stand being between me and people helps a lot. I got completely sidetracked. I can't remember why I started that. Basically, kids at gigs are my highlight. And puppies. Oh boy. Because it was a market that allowed dogs. There's so many puppies. So many puppies. I cried cuddling. It was like a 3-month-old Aussie Shepherd. And it was so cute. I think I've also finally decided to go for 4th year psychology instead of doing a master's just yet, and then maybe going into a master's afterwards, because I've realised, especially with my recent focus on dissociative identity disorder and my recent discoveries, I guess, I think I would play a really good role in research in those issues. I'm not sure if there's going to be stigma against me because I am a sufferer of many mental illness, or if that might help, because I've had many psychiatrists that discredit that and discredit my studies because of my diagnoses, which seems incredibly unfair because I got my degree while battling my diagnoses. So, like, I don't know, to me, I think it shows that I was a bit tougher than they think I am, and that maybe, I don't know, I can kick ass and still get my degrees. But that will be, I'll do a big proposal to get into my 4th year to try to do that, because I don't think my last grades are quite high enough to get into 4th year psychology as is. Although they were, I think it only has to be a credit, so there might be. I don't know. So that's one of the plans. I am very worried that the whole thing's just going to get thrown out because of stigma, really. But I just keep studying. I don't know. The more I learn, I mean, I'm getting more and more respect from people that I talk to in the field. So I don't know. I just keep learning and see where it gets me. Keep researching and see where we end up. This video was supposed to be about gigs. Fuck. Billy and I went for the loveliest walk yesterday. I found so many bugs, and I saw some rainbow lorikeets, and I got to remember little things like that, because it's like, what, an hour walk, but like seeing little mushroom guys and little bug friends actually makes my day for the full day. So note to self, explore shit that you like every day, because listen to me, future Moo, you gotta work. The reason for my walk, we had people come and look at the house yesterday to see if they maybe want to buy it. So hopefully that'll happen, because I don't want to live across the road from a high school anymore where there's like full sport classes across the road screaming every day. I sound like an asshole, but it's just, there's other reasons that I might not divulge on such a public space, but it'll be nice to get out of the house. But while they were looking at the house, I had to go for a walk, and so I get very, very anxious about strangers and making plans and changing times, and all of those things happened when the people came to look at the house. So I had to go into sort of panic deep breathing mode and try to just stay calm enough to get the lead on my dog and get us both outside and calm. Essentially, that was pretty much the aim. Yeah, walking among the buggies and looking at all the plants really helped. And Billy, of course, I think puppas are just a well-known anxiety cure. Though he does sometimes get anxious with me, so sometimes it's just both of us sitting there anxious. Did I give my dog anxiety? Oh. This isn't the content that I wanted to be bringing you. I did make a video reacting to Byron Bay's, the new Netflix show, but like almost everything else that I do, I hate the show for many more reasons than I realised when I first reacted to it, and I'm going to have to make like a whole second bit readdressing their frequent breaking of COVID rules, the disrespect to the traditional owners of the land. Just there's lots of things in that show that are bad. Don't watch it on Netflix. It's shit. The writing's bad. The show's bad. And it just shows the shit that's going on in Byron Bay right now. And also why there's such a high homeless rate, because all these influencers flooding in leaves people no longer being able to afford their rent and stay in these places, so then they have to move. We've just had heaps of floods all around New South Wales, Sydney and Queensland and shit, so it's like they have to move from Byron into places that aren't as flood safe and aren't as prepared for the natural disasters that have been happening, that aren't even natural because it's climate change. Just the disasters, I guess. But none of that's in the show, so we'll do like a little intro, and I'm going to research all the shit that they did wrong, because in the little Google that I did, there was like 5 different topics that we could discuss quite angrily and quite thoroughly before even starting episode 1. We'll get to that. That was actually going to be last week's video, but I got distracted by how shit the world is and how shit capitalism is, and just the state of the world. Anyway, I mean, you're all living in it too, you know it's the same world and the same shit that we're all watching. So anyway, that got a bit sad. Expect that video soon on Byron Bays. Side story before we head off, I want to tell you guys about my pal's dog Oxley. So they adopted this puppy who is like terrified of people, doesn't vibe many other dogs, and he's just a beautiful boy aside from that, but he's terrified, which, like, I get it. Great personality, terrified. So it's sort of been my mission lately, and my friend's mission, to get him at least kind of used to our friendship group so that we can continue playing board games, and also so that if anything goes wrong, I can stop by their house and feed the doggies, or if they go away, or etc. There are many reasons why it would be great for me to be able to go into their house and feed the dogs and not worry that Oxley's going to absolutely shit himself. But we've been working on it, and it over a relatively short period of time, Ox has opened up to me like a little blooming flower. He's so sweet, and I can't understand why he's so scared. It's like it just clicks and he's terrified. But I'll keep you all updated on the Oxley progress. But so far we've managed to have 2 friends at their house playing board games and being relatively smoochy with both dogs, and he did so well and was anxious at the start but settled in really, really quickly. That is not to say that we don't hang out with their dog without they muzzle Oxley before we go. They wouldn't put anyone at risk by just having no muzzle and letting Oxley go. But that's why we need pals like us that are comfortable with maybe risking a bit of an arm or something to try to get through this with Oxley, because meeting him and watching him play, and he's so young, he deserves that comfortability, because once he's comfortable, he's the biggest dog ever. He's a Staffy Cross Labrador, so you can imagine. He's got a big buffy head, and I just love him. And now I'm distracted talking about Oxley. I think that's the end of the video. I don't even know what this video was. I don't know what this is going to seem like when I edit, and it's all a shambles. But Jacob Andrew Sharp said on Curtis Connor's podcast that you should just get an idea and fumble with it. And so here's me fumbling with pretty much no idea. And I don't know what the end result is going to be. Ooh, actually, that was one of the things that I did know. They were talking about hating their voices, like hearing their voices played back to them, Curtis Connor and Jacob Andrew Sharp. I've got a little fun fact that you can eventually get used to it, because part of the reason it sounds so weird to you is when we're talking, my eardrums and like my whole hearing system's mainly running on the vibrations caused by the movement of the sound. Like, it's coming from my jaw and not coming from outside straight into my ears as vibrations. So when you hear it on record, it sounds very almost shallow and like it's not at all you, and your brain won't actually register it as your own voice because it's not coming from the actual sensations in your head. It's being played back just as sound vibration straight into your ear holes. That's not to say it's not weird and uncomfortable, but just from a muso standpoint, even musicians in the studio for a long time and sometimes forever feel uncomfortable listening back to their own voice. And sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, because that's showbiz, baby. But I'll be back with my rant about Byron Bays real soon. Every male at the moment accepting donations of items and financial donations to help their area during the floods, which it's a lot's been destroyed, so it's pretty rough. But if you've got the dollars to spare, please send it through to them. I'll probably link down below. That's it. Just donate. And also, sorry I've been gone for so long. And hopefully I'll be back more regularly. And hopefully this video doesn't suck, though it's just me talking about what's been cracking. Okay, bye.